Hi everybody, how's it going? Wolfram, please like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Be bringing some reviews here too. So all that good stuff. So I didn't catch on my last video. If you're a writer and you follow my Facebook writing page, I will. I didn't do the Facebook live today or yesterday because I was doing some Thanksgiving stuff with the family. We're out kind of doing errands, so I kind of didn't really get back till late. But I will try to get that. We'll try to get that live going. Um, if it, and I'll get out tomorrow. If it's tomorrow, will be late. So just try to. You can still get on the page and you can watch the live too and see what I'll be talking about. Um, I'll try to get some topics going, open up Q&A, all that stuff. Let's see. What I will do in this instant, if you're not a writer and you don't really care about that, you think that shit is boring, that's fine too. You can think that. Let's get into the review. Yeah, um, but writing is not boring. You should probably try it out. It's actually fun. But if, so the movie I'm going to be reviewing is Transformers Rise of the Beast, the latest installment, not directed by Michael Bay, as the previous installments have been directed by Michael Bay, with the exception of Bumblebee. I don't think he directed that one either, but he did direct the other ones. But this is not Michael Bay. This is actually directed by a black director. His name is Stephen Caple. Now I don't know all his. I'm not sure what other Stephen Caple Jr. I think is his name. So I don't know what other movies this guy's directed. I sort of looked through his filmography. Uh, so we do have the stars of Transformers: Rise of the Beast, Anthony Ramos stars, uh, and he basically is, uh, he's this guy, and he's trying to. He's just this regular guy, in the mid 90s, the 1994 New York 1994, where they actually play a really jamming soundtrack. Like, it's my favorite genre, hip hop, but it's like early 90s hip hop too. So you're gonna get like Tribe Called Quest, Nas, some old school Nas, uh Return of Slick by Diggable Planets. Oh, I was jamming to that, cool, cool like that, man. I love that song. So as you already tell, I love the soundtrack to this. I sort of, grew up in that era, and anyone who has, you'll probably enjoy the soundtrack to this movie as well too. So basically, uh, uh, Anthony Ramos' character, so basically in the movie, he's trying to do right by his little brother. His mom played by Lauren Velasquez, uh, and basically he's did a lot of dirt, and nobody hired him, because he's done all this dirt and everything. So what they decide to do, he's trying to get jobs left and right. He gets rejected because he's very unreliable. He can't get to work on time, things of that nature. And he's feeling like his life is worthless, it's nothing. And then suddenly, his friend decides to have him go on this heist. He's like, man, I'm not trying to, it's tempting to him because he's like, well, I can't get a job, might as well, do some dirt. And he reluctantly kind of does this too. And so what he does is he decides to go, he's trying to get away because they get caught. So he goes to steal a car, and little does he know it's a Transformers car. Uh, well, actually, this is not how the movie starts. Sorry, this is where it gets up to. But the movie basically starts with um, the basically, I can't remember what they called them, but it's basically it's like another version of the Autobots basically, and they turn into Beast. Um, so you don't have Optimus Prime, you have Optimus Primal, who comes from a group of Optimus Primals, and they're fighting against an enemy named Scourge. Scourge, the voice of Scourge is Peter Dinklage, uh, and I didn't recognize it was Peter Dinklage because his voice is so deep. And that's the thing. That's the thing that throws me off. Like when they have like big name voice actors doing these types of voices, because here's my issue with that is if you're going to like distort the voice, because hearing him, I like if you know like the actor Peter Dinklage, you hear his voice, you're not going to be able to tell that's Peter Dinklage. That could be Joe Schmo from down the street, and if you if you sort of like do that to his voice, basically you emulate his voice, or you make his voice you distort his voice in a certain way, you're not going to know that's Peter Dinklage. But Peter Dinklage does play the main villain here, Scourge. Um, of course, you have Optimus Prime, who's the same guy from the cartoons, Peter Cullen, the legendary Peter Cullen, still playing Optimus Prime. Uh, Shows up in here, and so the main character, he basically runs into um he runs into the Autobots. The car he steals is the Transformer played by uh Mirage, or the Transformer car's name is Mirage, and it's played by is voiced by Pete Davidson, which I should have known that was Pete Davidson, because like the whole time I was listening to him was like he was actually kind of one of my favorite characters in the movie was Mirage. Um, you know, he kind of, you know, had like the, you know, the hip mannerisms and all that other stuff too. So I actually really did like that. Um, you know, it's a, you know, I'll say one thing about this movie. So I'm not a action person for action's sake. I have to have some, I gotta have some substance to my action, I guess. And I do think like the action in here does work. Like if you're like a big Transformers fan, um, because one thing I will say is these don't look like Michael Bay's garbage Transformers. Like a bunch of just somebody just like dumped metal on metal and made some, you know, big piece of garbage. Like that's the one thing I actually hated about Michael Bay's movies was the Transformers did not look like the original Transformers. So I actually am glad like they took RC, um and she's voiced by a YouTuber. I can't remember her name, but she is voiced by a YouTuber who's been in a few movies herself. But like even like RC, you know, she looks just like RC from the cartoon, or they actually did make Optimus Prime look like Optimus Prime from the 80s cartoon. Um, Same with the Beast Wars, because a lot of, you know, the Beast Wars Transformers, they end up coming into this movie as well too. You know, you have Optimus Prime, and then you have the, you know, the gorilla Optimus Primal, who's basically Optimus Prime. Um, and you know you're gonna, so if you're looking for the action, you're gonna get it here. Um, Dominic Fishback is in here too. I mean, other than her being like an explorer that works at, she like works at a museum or whatever, um, she's a good actress. I'm actually glad to see that she got like a high profile movie like Transformers, because I've always said for a very long time, for years, Dominic Fishback is a really underappreciated actress. Like she's really underappreciated. Um, Go back and watch some of the movies with Dominic Fishback in them. She's really good. That show Swarm, I actually did review Swarm on my channel like years ago. Uh, but she's really good in that. But I think like, so my thing with Transformers is the action is really good. There's a lot of explosive set pieces in here. uh it's it's very very loud. I mean, I'll put it to you like this: if you didn't know any better, if I didn't tell you in this review that Michael Bay didn't direct this, you would probably think he directed this movie. The humor, the humor isn't, it's not exactly Michael Bay humor. So that's the one thing I do like about it, because I can't stand Michael Bay's humor. But I will say, like, uh it pretty much, it feels like Michael Bay, but it's light on the jokes. But there's, the jokes are still kind of in it. The human characters, I don't think, they give them something to do. So I thought that was kind of nice. Because I've always said about these movies, the human characters are kind of useless. Um, but this script is stupid as hell. This is such a dumbass script. Um, because I was trying to follow the story, and it's a really simple story to follow. I think my issue is that it's just dumping so much shit in this movie, and it's just like, it's a little overwhelming at times. And it's the it's the cliche, find the thing that's going to destroy the world before the villain finds it. That's pretty much all this movie is. There's not really a whole lot of substance to the plot. um there's really not a lot of substance to the characters. I mean, there is some substance to the main character, who's played by who Anthony Ramos plays, which I really did enjoy. And again, I did like how it did a lot of like 90s references, but at the same time, the soundtrack to me did feel a little forced. It felt like they were just kind of banging on the 90s hits a little too much. It's like, okay, we get it, it's 1994, we get it, this takes place in 1994. um and then they do some tie-in at the end, which I can kind of see the tie-in, because like that after credit scene that they do, they tie it into another universe. And I wasn't sure how I felt about it. It was a little weird, I'm not gonna lie. But at the same time, I guess it's not too ridiculous, because the movie that they referenced, that one was ridiculous too. But I could maybe tolerate Transformers a little bit more than the movie that they tease at the end, that they sort of put into place. And they sort of, it's a thing that they do at the end of this movie, to where they set it up for this to go into the other universe. So I don't know. Um, Maybe if Transformers profited, I guess they could do it. But I was not a fan of the movie that they're trying to go into. It's an older film, and I just was not a fan of it. Uh, but hey, so I will say Transformers: Rise of the Beast. I'm 50-50 on it. I'm just, it just does a lot of things that these Transformers movies do that I'm not a fan of. And again, I'm not the type of person who does action just for action, unless you can do something with the action that I've never seen before. Think of like the Raid, right? Both the Raid movies. Why do I think those movies are so phenomenal? Because I never seen an action movie like that before. That took that took action to like a whole nother level. The John Wick movies, John Wick, those are taking action to another level. Transformers is just, it's a movie I've kind of seen already. Um, in another capacity, I guess. It doesn't really do anything like you could. I've always said this thing about the Transformers movies. You could take, and I actually, so there was this there's this movie critic I watch. These movie critics, Red Letter Media. I don't know if y'all saw the episodes. uh they sat down, and it was a funny episode. They had three TVs sitting in the room, and they had Transformers 1 playing on one TV, they had Transformers 2 playing on the second TV, the middle TV, and they had Transformers 3 playing on the third TV, and they all sat down and watched all three Transformers movies. And I just was like, wow, these look like the exact same movie. Like if they didn't tell me which movies were what, I wouldn't know which Transformers was which. They couldn't tell. I couldn't guess it, especially if I had just walked in and watched them. And I've seen pretty much all the Transformers movies. I'm not a fan. I usually just go watch these because other people want to see them. But so that's kind of my point here. Is like, I mean, it's really not that much different. I mean, you see one Transformers movie, you kind of seen them all really, and this one's no different. I mean, I guess if you want to see the Beast Wars, um, because I was a little excited for Beast Wars coming in because I used to watch Beast Wars when I was a kid. So I know some of the characters, but um, yeah, if you want some solid like mindless action movie, this is the movie for you. But I just like I said, I need a little bit more substance. I just thought that I thought other than maybe the main character, I wanted to see him succeed, but some of your other human characters are kind of weak. Um, the Transformers are the Transformers, like Peter Cullen. It was nice to see him. Nice to see him still getting work doing Optimus Prime. So that's always a plus. But other than that, it's a Transformers movie. I think I'm gonna go with a low recommend. I don't think I'll be back to watch it. Maybe if somebody wants to watch it, like I know my mom was having a good time when I was watching it with her. So like if she puts it on and she wants me to watch it with her again, I'll watch it. But it's not a movie I'll like rush back to go see it again. So yeah, it's a low recommend. Low recommend. I got it on my tongue, roll off tongue right. But yeah, low recommend. So yeah, if you like Transformers Rise of the Beast and you think I'm crazy, go ahead and hit the comment section. Tell me what you thought about Transformers Rise of the Beast, and I will see you in the next review. Peace. Low recommend.